welcome to my world. Welcome to this tutorial. We're getting right into it, starting with some E.L.F. Camo Concealer. I am using this lighter shade of concealer as a primer for my eyelids. The palette I'm mostly going to be using today is the Makeup Revolution Shook Eyeshadow Palette. First, I'm going in with the shade Fresh, which is a creamy white shade, and using it to set the concealer I just applied. Next, I'm going in with the shade Fabulous and using a blending brush to apply it as a transition shade. Next, I'm going in with the shade Vibe, which in the actual pan looks like a maroon shade, but when I apply it, you can see it looks much more pink than red. I'm applying this on the crease and outer corner of my eye, and I used a crease shader brush to actually apply the product and then went back in with a blending brush to blend it out. Then I also use this Catrice and Eman Bronzed AF palette, and from this palette I use the shade Runyon, which is a chestnut brown color, and I use this color to add a little bit more dimension and also make the eyeshadow look a little less pink. So I also applied it to my crease and outer corner of my eyelid, but you'll notice that I'm not applying it as high up as I did with the shade Vibe. And then I took a blending brush again to blend everything together so that there's a smooth transition between the two colors. Here, I went in with another shade from the Makeup Revolution palette. This shade is called Snap, and it's a pretty standard dark brown shade, but it does have a few very small sparkles in there, and I'm using it to deepen up the outer corner of the eyelid. And of course, I'm going back in with a blending brush to blend. This is super important, and every time I put down any new eyeshadow, I always go back in with a blending brush and just buff out the edges. Then I went back in with a little bit more of the shade Vibe and just put it on top of the outer corner just to bring back in a little bit more color. Now I'm going back in with the E.L.F. concealer and applying it to the inner half of my lid to clean it up, since we're kind of going for that cut crease look. And I definitely recommend using a small precision concealer brush for a more precise application, which is why I ended up switching brushes. Then again, I set the concealer with the shade Fresh. Next, I went in with this NARS Hardwired eyeshadow in the shade Earthshine, and this is such a beautiful eyeshadow. It's described as an iridescent pink lilac shade, and I'm just applying it to the inner half of the lid. Now, there was quite a bit of fallout with this shadow, but I also didn't use a damp brush, so I would recommend, if you plan on using this product, to apply it with a damp applicator, and you'll experience much less fallout than I did. For eyeliner, I used the YSL Shocking False Lash Effect liner and winged it out. Before I popped on falsies, I curled my natural lashes and applied mascara, and the mascara that I used today is the Covergirl Lash Blast Waterproof Mascara. Then for lash glue, I use the Duo Clear Lash Glue, which is amazing. I can never go wrong with this product. What I like to do is apply some lash glue to my lash line using the end of a tweezer, and I also apply it directly to the lash band as well. For lashes today, I used the MAC 34 lash, and as you can probably tell, I also went ahead and extended my winged liner a little bit for a slightly more dramatic look. Moving on to under my eyes, first I went in with this CoverGirl concealer in Warm Honey to conceal and brighten the area. And to set that in place, I use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in Warm Sun. For my lower lid, I first went in with the shade Vibe. And over that, I added a bit of the shade Snap, mostly to the outer corner. Here, I went in with the shade Earthshine again and added a little bit to my lower lid and connected it at the inner corner. Finally, to finish off the eyes, I wanted to add a little bit of brow highlight. So I went in with the shade Chic from the Makeup Revolution palette. This color is kind of like a light coppery shade, and of course it has a pearly finish, which makes it ideal for highlighting. Now I'm taking some more of the CoverGirl concealer that I used earlier and applying it on my cheeks, and as I'm blending it out, I'm really pushing the product into my pores to fill them in, especially since I'm not using a primer today. I started applying foundation and realized I forgot to color correct, so I'm just doing that with some orange color corrector. For foundation, I use the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in 330 Toffee, which is pretty much what I always use. For contour, I'm using the usual L'Oreal Shaping Stick foundation in Chesnut. To set the foundation, I use the Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder in Medium Deep. For blush, I use the shade Vibe, which I used on my eyes, and I'm laughing in this clip because it was a bit too much when I put it on, so I really had to blend it out so that it didn't look so intense. To set the contour, I use the shade Reckless from the Makeup Revolution palette, and it's definitely not an exact match to the cream contour shade that I used, but the two colors still work well together. For lips, I first went in with the NYX Liquid Suede lip in the shade Vintage. And on top of that, I went in with the Maybelline Superstay 14-Hour Longwear Lipstick in Wine and Forever. I hate how long that name is, but there we have it. That is the finished makeup look. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you leave it a like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.